Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Deja Vu here, bringing you some more StarCraft commentary. I know it's been 2-3 weeks since the MSL finals, since I've casted for you guys. Actually, I have, but I guess you wouldn't know about it since I haven't really said anything on YouTube. It's been it's been about 3 weeks since I've put anything up on YouTube, unfortunately, and for that, I do apologize. This is going to be Jangbi versus Horang2. And so the reason that the finals, let's just do some housekeeping things, get them out of the way. There's a bunch of them. The reason the finals will not be uploaded on my channel is because we did them live, myself, Ferosh, and a few other people, and we tried recording the MP3s for them from Skype call. Unfortunately, the file is really huge, and the quality is pretty low, so it's really not going to come out very well, not really worthwhile to upload, so I'm not going to be doing that. However, I will link you to the VODs on my friend Eton's account. He's the one who's been doing the live streaming for us, so I will link you to that, so that way if you do want to see those live casts, you can. Otherwise, I assume by now you all know what happened, since this is coming up so late. This information is coming up so late. You've probably already seen it, but I will put that there. And the other reason I want to put his channel there, his live stream account, or maybe it's just, no, I think it's live stream, is because I've actually been doing a decent amount of live casting with him the last couple weeks. I just tend to not put anything up on YouTube because it gets to be 8 or 9 p.m. and he messages me on Skype or whatever and is like, hey, do you want to cast tonight? And I'm like, okay, and then 2-3 hours we're casting. So that's basically what we've been doing. And if you go to Team Liquid, you will see a thread in the Brood War general section that says live cast OSL MSL Pro League. That is his thread that we've been using to organize, and yeah, we've just been recording from Skype, so bear that in mind. Anytime the games are earlier, I think it's midnight Eastern time, so that's when I will actually have a chance to cast with him live. Other than that, I will continue to upload VODs, just not as much. I will upload VODs of certain players, aka Jangbi, who I love, and you all know that I love Jangbi, so I will be uploading a lot of Jangbi games. And today is actually going to be a big Jangbi day. I'm going to be doing this game, and I'm going to be doing his group from the OSL, the Group C, I believe it is. So, as I said, this is Jangbi versus Horang2. Let's get into the game. Jangbi in the top right in red, and Horang2 in the bottom left in yellow. And it doesn't look like anyone did anything very creative or interesting here early on. The only thing is that Jangbi did not choose to scout yet. He's already has a Cybernetics core up, and he's not even choosing to scout. So that's basically the only interesting thing that's happened so far this game. Everything else has been pretty standard, I believe. Actually, it looks like Jangbi may have even skipped out on his first Zealot too. Yeah, he also looks like he skipped out on his first Zealot to get that Cybernetics course going just a bit faster, and let's see what kind of a strategy that plays out for him. And Jangbi's been playing so much better recently. Coming into this game, he's won 6 of his last 7 games, including games against Last and C, and a couple of PvZ wins actually on Alternative against Crazy Hydra and Hyuk, and yeah, some other wins in there too. So he's actually been playing really, really well, and most importantly is that not only has he been winning games, he's actually looked good in winning some of these games. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've seen him win games in the past, like during this year-long slump or whatever, where he would win, but it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess you win, but it wasn't very pretty. But recently they have been getting much, much better, and Horang2 letting that probe into his base with his second Zealot just kind of hanging out, and I guess he's just reading a book or something, not even bothering to annoy this probe. If he had put that second Zealot on the ramp, he would have stopped this probe scout coming in here. So that's a little bit of a error on Horang2's part. I don't even think he's corrected that issue yet. Actually, he's probably just sent that second Zealot after that probe to chase it around in circles. So we got a Cybernetics core spinning for Horang2, and for Jangbi probably the same going on here. He's got his first Zealot and Dragoon, and he's actually going on the offensive with his first Zealot and Dragoon, maybe checking to see if there's a hole in the defenses. No, there's not going to be any hole. He's not going to be able to do much of anything here, but he's just going to be probing it out, checking it out, maybe looking to take advantage of the fact that since his Cybernetics core is up first, he will have Dragoon range up first, so he can maybe try and get a few extra pot shots with his Dragoons, something like that, but should not be game deciding here with these first few units that Jangbi is sending down there. And on the other side, Horang2 is a fantastic PvPer. He's been looking extremely, extremely good. His PvP record is impeccable, and yeah, he's been very, very impressive. And actually coming in here with 2 Dragoons here, looking to pick off Jangbi's 2 Dragoons and going to take out his shields. Unfortunately, not doing any real damage to it, so a good idea there by Horang2, but the second Dragoon coming in for Jangbi, able to scare Horang2 off. Jangbi has also expanded. Note that in his natural expansion, he has taken his natural. So Horang2 not scouting this out, has no idea this is going on right now, and it does look like he's going for some sort of robo build. If this is Ob before Reavers, this could actually play right into Jangbi's hands. If he goes Obs, gets his expansion down, then goes scouts out the natural expansion, he's really not going to have much of an opportunity to put down a lot of pressure. His Reavers will probably still be out before Jangbi's, but the window of his of opportunity is going to be pretty narrow if he goes for Observers first. So I'm going to be looking out for that to see that there it is. Yes, he is going Observers first. So the window of opportunity is going to be very, very small to non-existent for Horang2 to take out this natural expansion. And do a lot of damage, just because he's gonna put down his own natural before he really goes on the assault. Jangbi's natural is up and running. We do have a Maynard going on now, and he's got a Robo coming up behind it as well. So he will be just a little bit behind on the tech, but things looking very, very good for Jangbi here in this game. And a little side note, I actually was casting during this game, and if any of you were watching the cast, I was casting the other series. I think it was like SKT versus Fox or something like that. I forget what I was casting. I think it was SKT versus someone. And I wanted to switch over to this game to cast it just because it was Jangbi. Unfortunately, all of our viewers was like, no, cast Bisu, cast Bisu, cast Bisu. So I stayed on Bisu, and I sacrificed watching this game in order to cast live for some Bisu game. So I think it was actually Bisu versus Roro. No, more I think it was Bisu versus Roro. I sacrificed to watch that game and cast it rather than cast this game. So I decided to go back, and I was going to watch this game. Even though I know who won, that's besides the point. Just because, well, if you're live casting and the other game's going on, you want to know the answer, you want to know who won, someone will tell you. So that's what happened there. But I am so excited because, yeah, I get to live cast. I haven't gotten to live cast really like on this consistent level in a while. I think I've live casted probably like average twice per week now. I think one week I even got 3 times in OSL prelims. Like we did like 3 or 4 hours of OSL prelim casting. It was pretty ridiculous. And then we casted like 2 or 3 Pro League sets. So I will give you a link. It's Eton7410. So if you're ever on Team Liquid and you're watching the direct Korean streams and you see that there, click it. Click on Eton7410, 7410. That's me. Well, I shouldn't say it's always me, but a lot of times it will be me on that stream along with Eton, and occasionally Varosh. Other people will jump on there too, so it's pretty fun. And I think it's turned out pretty well so far. Let's see. We do have a Reaver out for Horang2, and it's going to use a Scarab to blow up a probe. Unfortunately, Horang2 with that observer has found out that the natural expansion went up a lot earlier for Jangbi, but he scouted it out so late that even though his Reaver was out, he didn't have a shuttle for it. If he had gone shuttle, then observer, then Reaver, he might have... No, really not. The window is just so small. It's just so hard to go with a observatory expand build and counter a 1-gate Nexus. It just doesn't really work. And so he's going to be a little bit more defensive here. He's got 2 Reavers out, so he should be able to defend this pretty well if Jangbi decides to get too aggressive here. Jangbi deciding not to cross those ramps, which is very, very wise. Sending about half of his forces on that big ramp and going to basically go to where the third is, the mineral only of Horang2, and just kind of scout out there, make sure that there aren't any forces of Horang2 that gets out. This is going to be really good for Jangbi in terms of scouting. Basically, the only things I can get out right now for Horang2 without him knowing about it are observers and shuttles, and you know that's pretty good position for you to be in. And Jangbi's actually going to catch one of the observers for Horang2 and going to knock it out. And Jangbi looking to cross the bridges a little bit, but he's going to back off, knowing that that's a really dangerous spot for him, especially when he doesn't have any Reaver support at all. He decides to back off there. Very, very wise. If he had engaged there with those Reavers looking to get involved, he would have been in big trouble very, very quickly. Despite the fact that he had units coming in from a couple different sides. One of those sides was a bridge, which is basically a death trap. Being on those bridges is terrible. As anyone who has ever played on bridges will tell you, the AI on bridges is just absolutely awful. And looks like Horang2, now that he's got that shuttle out with those Reavers, going to push Jangbi back. He's going to take advantage and dominate his ramp once more, and then advance into the middle of the map. Jangbi just going to be basically in full retreat right now. He's got his first Reaver out. He's got a shuttle out as well. I think that's actually a second Reaver. I would think that that's probably a second Reaver at this point. Didn't see it, but I would think that that's the second Reaver, and we're going to have a small engagement here. So Horang2's forces are really split up here, but it looks like Jangbi not going to press the issue, seeing that the Reavers, while the Dragoons were all really spread out, there were still Reavers in position. And here comes Jangbi with some Dragoons going towards the south, looking to pick off the Reavers. It looks like they might have a chance to do so. No, they will not. Bring in a couple Reavers of his own. Picks off the shuttle and picks off one of the Reavers. Will he get the other? I think he will. Oh, the Reaver has one shot left, and Jangbi loses one of his Reavers while trying to take out Horang2's, and it looks like Horang2 is going to come ahead in that battle with a few more Dragoons. Looks like he's got about 7 or 8 more Dragoons and that Reaver. What happened to Jangbi's other Reaver? It looks like it may have fallen, or it was destroyed inside of that shuttle. One or the other. Either way, he did lose that battle. Fortunately for him, it looks like Horang2's forces, without that shuttle, able to get that Reaver across the bridges with only about 6 Dragoons left, not going to be able to press at all onto Jangbi's natural expansion. So there is so while it's a victory for Horang2, it's not going to let him take out a base or anything like that. We do have a forge coming up for Jangbi, and some more gateways going down as the Templar Archives is going to get rolling for both players. Both players throwing down some more gateways. I'm gonna get their Templar tech going. DT's High Templars. Now it's interesting to watch who's going to continue using their shuttles, whether it's for Reaver drops, getting DTs into people's bases. Storm, so much opportunity, so many choices really for players to make at this stage. What you do with your storms. Do you use them for harassment, or do you use them for the military fight? Do you use your Reavers? Do you stick them in a shuttle and go for harassment, or do you keep them back in case a push comes? So it's a lot of decision making here. It's a lot of know-how, a lot of understanding of the matchup. So this is definitely a more critical point of the game in terms of just strategic decision making. We do have a DT out for Jangbi first, and he's morphed his first 2 High Templar into an Archon as well. So Jangbi, known for his storms, the Storm Toss, actually using, instead of stocking up on storms right now, is actually going to morph an Archon. And it's basically just a fantastic meat shield, as well as a really good against Zealots due to its splash damage. So those are the two benefits of having the Archons. Archons just tear through Zealots, and they're a great meat shield if you've got a lot of forces going around. And a DT for Horang2 going to run into the group of forces for Jangbi, but it doesn't look like Jangbi saw it at all. He did not have an observer close enough to that group. Not going to see it. And Jangbi coming in here with a speed shuttle looks like he's going to go towards the natural expansion to do some harassment. There are a couple of Dragoons there, so he's going to back off and not going to try and press that issue. And a DT coming here to the 3rd base where Jangbi was trying to set up, and he's going to pick off that probe. There is an observer at home, so it looks like he will be able to pick off this DT. Maybe if he saw it, still those DTs are I'm sorry, the observer is still a slow observer, and a DT for Jangbi looking to do the same thing as Horang2. So these two guys playing very, very similar styles right now, knowing that their opponents are going to want to get 3rd bases going if they can, and trying to deny that. And now it looks like both players advancing into the middle of the map, perhaps setting up for an engagement, but Jangbi is going to back off here. And still, what's in that shuttle? I believe that's still 2 Reavers in that shuttle and 2 Archons for Horang2. So Horang2 also doing Archons and not saving up for Storm here. Both players playing so similarly. And here come the Reavers being dropped off by both players, and it looks like Jangbi almost able to pick off one of the Reavers, but he's going to get his Dragoons here. He's going to get his Reavers right into those Dragoons and doing a lot of damage right now. And who's actually going to come out ahead of this? It looks very, very close still, but it looks like the Archons for Jangbi have fallen, and that is going to end up forcing him to retreat. There are some Zealots left as well, so Jangbi in a very difficult spot right here. Horang2 showing off his PvP skills, and Horang2 being very audacious, trying to advance across these maps. Very, very dangerous position for him. Loses both of his Reavers right there. One of his Archons goes down. Advancing across these bridges so difficult, and it looks like he's actually going to lose this engagement. I don't think Horang2 is gonna win this coming across these bridges. Dragoons are just so dumb crossing the bridges. Everything is just so dumb crossing the bridges. It's so hard to do that, and unfortunately Horang2 pays the price, losing both of his Reavers, and it looks like, I think his shuttle's still alive. I think it's going home. I think it's that little yellow blip going home. And he's going to try and take down the 3rd, but unfortunately Jangbi, his macro being right on top of things, is going to be able to push this back. So while Horang2 won the initial engagement, it looks like Jangbi has won the latter stages of that battle, and he's also got a DT here picking at the new expansion coming up. So if this expansion is stopped by Jangbi, this would be a huge win for him if he's able to get his 3rd up and he's able to stop Horang2's 3rd. Unfortunately, it looks like he's just going to back off with this DT, pick off another probe. I'm sure he's looking for High Templars. If there was a prize for him right now, it would be finding a High Templar or two that he could snipe with that Dark Templar. That would be amazing for him. We do have +1 weapons for Jangbi, and no upgrades yet for Horang2. He does have a forge. I did see a cannon, so he must have a forge somewhere. Haven't been checking it for its capability of spinning, or its spinning state, as it were, right now. But we will keep an eye on that for you as well. It looks like 10 gateways now for Jangbi are coming up, and I think Horang2 is still at 8. But yeah, the macro for both these players has been really, really good right now. And Jangbi, it was a former PvP master before he went into this slump. During the Age of the Dragons, they were all playing each other. Everyone who was good during the all the Protoss players who were good during the Age of the Dragons, the 6 of them, they are all good at PvP. Do not take them for granted. And despite what their records may have said, they were playing against the best of the best constantly, and that's just the way it worked. And some of them had worse records than others. I think Jangbi's actually is pretty competitive. And we have an attack here coming in here at the third base of Horang2, and a lot of Archons and a lot of Zealots. No Storms. This is a no-storm game so far. 2 Reavers for Jangbi, only 1 Reaver for Horang2, and is that going to be the difference? That is going to make a big deal here, and he's got the high ground, so I'm sure some of those shots were actually low ground to high ground, which is also another advantage for Jangbi. A second Reaver coming into play for Horang2. Jangbi's still trying to press the advantage here with his 2 Reavers doing so much damage. As long as that Archon is alive, he'll be able to keep his Reaver around, but his Archon is just about to die, so he backs off. These 2 Reavers looking to get some more Scarab shots off, and how many more Dragoons will they kill? Will that shuttle get out? No, it will not, so he's going to drop off the Reavers once again, and splitting up that damage very, very well, bringing Zealots along as well for Jangbi, so a nice play there by Jangbi. Even though he lost all of his Reavers, he got the most out of them that he could. He got the shots split up, the Dragoon shots split up between his Reavers and his and his shuttle very well. And he's got a Zealot in there with a couple of kills, picking at probes, which is really nice as well. So some good work there by Jangbi. Although once again we've seen another attack that was not able to conclude in a base kill. So this is very, very close watching these 2 players play. Neither of them is giving an inch, and even when they lose a battle, their macro and their strategy and their defensive capabilities are right on target, and they're able to stop a loss from resulting in basically a game loss. If either of them was to lose a base so far this game, the game would essentially be over. Jangbi looking to gain even more of an eco advantage, just taking the 12 o'clock position, taking the base up there. So he's just trying to stay a base ahead of Horang2 as much as he possibly can, and he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. So far, every single base phase has been up at least a little bit before Horang2. We have 3 Zealots for Horang2 heading up into that 12 o'clock base. There are a couple of cannons there, which may or may not be enough to stop this, but it will buy him time, certainly, in order to bring some forces back. Here we go. Here come the Zealots coming in there, and the Zealots are going to back off, realizing that they'd probably die, or they'd have like 1 Zealot left with almost no health before they could try going after probes, and they wouldn't do anything. So these Zealots just going to bait the army around of Jangbi, and Horang2 not looking to take advantage of this. The army kind of chasing those Zealots around, leaving some holes in the middle of the map in terms of coverage. But there are observers for Jangbi keeping track of the army for Horang2. The army for Horang2 looks incredibly small right now. Yeah, it looks like there's only a couple control groups worth of units, so I think Jangbi is well ahead right now in terms of supply. If we saw the supply counts, I suspect that Jangbi is ahead considerably. It just looks like his army is 1 or 2 control groups bigger. Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it just looks significantly bigger. It looks like Horang2 is going to go for that 12 o'clock base. Will he go down that ramp? If he goes down that ramp and decides to engage, this would be very, very bad for him, and he is going to try and engage here, and realizing it as the army for Jangbi shows up that he's going to have to back off, so backs off very quickly, and a squad of Zealots heading down into the mineral only for Horang2, and they are actually going to go for a Nexus snipe here. 5 Zealots going for a Nexus snipe, and I think they're going to succeed. I don't think there's any army for Horang2 here to try and stop this, and they are going to take down this Nexus, which means Horang2 is going to have to go on the assault, going to have to try and do some damage, and he is trying to cross those bridges, gets half of his forces across the bridges, but there's a Reaver waiting for him, and there is an Archon morphing as well. 2 Reavers coming in here for Horang2. One of them goes down, the shuttle goes down, the second Reaver goes down, and GG from Horang2, losing that mineral only meant that he had to basically go in for an all-in attack, had fewer forces than Jangbi, and Jangbi takes the game. Jangbi wins, so that was a great game. Very fun to watch. 2 fantastic PvPers. Now that Jangbi is rolling back into form, the old things we said about Jangbi, the great storms, the great PvP, the great PvT understanding, all those things are starting to come back, so it's pretty awesome to watch. And his PVZ has actually looked really good as well, I should say, winning several of his games, winning a couple most recently on Alternative and on, or actually both of them were again on Alternative, so he's looked pretty good on his PVZ as well. We're going to go on, I'm actually going to go cast the ODT, the Group C, which is Jangbi's group, and so that is what I will be casting next. That will be up right away.